Hi, my name's Duke Smith. I'm in charge of the property commission here at Franklintown United Brethren Church, and we're just having a little video today to help you get to know what needs to be done around the building that you're attending. We take care of the church that is right here, the parsonage that is where Charlie and Paula live, the rental property which Margie lives in, and the cemetery out on Franklin Glen Road. I just want to run down some things today just to let you know that if you'd be interested in helping, there's some stuff that we can do, that you can do to help around here that could in the future save the congregation a lot of money, that we don't have to pay people to do the work. We can do the work ourselves. And then here in a couple minutes we're going to go up on top of the roof and we're going to give you an overview of the things that we've got done the last 5 years that the congregation, through the tithes that you've been giving, have done to fix the building, and some things that we've done ourselves to save ourselves some more money. Okay, here we are on the roof of the church over top of Charlie's office, and I want to show you some things that we've had done the last 5 years. Right over here is one of our scuppers, and the scupper that is right here is fixed. The hole's bigger, the water gets out of here fast, it's not clogged, and it's working well. Now I'm going to show you a scupper on the other end of the church above the nursery, where we've had water problems numerous times, where water's leaked in the church, of a scupper that is clogged, that you got to get up here to check it numerous times during the year to make sure that they are clean. And here we are at the roof above the sanctuary. And then within the last 5 years, we've had Wary roofing in here, and we had a new shingles put on the sanctuary. They're 30-year shingles, so we ought to be good for a long time. Now here we are at the bell tower. The bell tower is right here. In the last couple years, we've had the roof replaced on the bell tower because it was leaking. And we still have work to do inside of there on the inside because it rotted the wood, but we can take care of that. And the bell that is in there is from the original church, from this Franklintown United Brethren Church. It's usually rang on every Sunday morning. Art Myers used to do it. Now Donna Nisley's pretty regular at taking care of that. The bracket to hold the bell in place is still good shape. It needs no maintenance, and it's good to go. Now we're going to take a view at the cross that is in front of the church that needed some maintenance done to it. We got a car going by here, so I'm going to wait here a second. But the church is being refurbished right now. We got guys from Billard Masonry going to redo the cross and repaint it so that it looks good, so when people drive by it's not such an eyesore. Now we're going to talk about the parking lot at Franklintown United Brethren Church. 5 to 6 years ago, the property commission had sat down because we had a problem where people were parking in the grass, and we just didn't have a place to park everybody for the service on Sunday morning. So we talked about making the parking lot bigger. It was a big task to tackle, but we figured with a little bit of help and a little bit of money, we could take care of this. And as you can see, Jim's scanning it right now, that the parking lot's complete. It's done. We had lights here. The parking lot's now got lights on it. Lear Electricity, they donated the lights for us. A couple guys on work days, we poured the sonotubes to put the lights on, and then we poured the things. We did the curbs, the sidewalks, so the people could get to the church. And also, before all this even took place, we had to go put our electric line underground from over at the telephone pole there at Adams's property, underneath the parking lot and up into the church. So now our service is now underground. Okay, now we're coming into the foyer at the bottom of the church. A couple years ago, Relay for Life wanted to get memorial bricks from people that we've lost from the congregation over the past years, and we decided, it took a while, but it took us a couple years to figure out what we wanted to do. So we made a memorial sidewalk into the foyer here at the church. And over the past 2 years, we've had new doors put on the church right here because the other doors were rusted and leaking. And these doors here are working phenomenal. I'm very pleased with them. It went very well. And then one of the things that we would like to do in the future, when the finances are available and we can afford to do it, we would like to bring a roof out over top of these memorial bricks so that when there's funerals or weddings or stuff like that, or even Sunday school and church and it's raining and snowing, that the weather is going to stay off the doors and it'll protect the memorial bricks even better. And as you can see, we have a lot of landscaping around the church too, and with the shrubs and the flowers and all kinds of trimming and stuff that needs done. The Kunkles have been a huge help in this, because they pretty much, Ray Kunkel and Gene really take care of helping with the flower beds. They've had some help over the years. This year, I did see Alita here helping them one day, and Eldon's around with them a lot, and Sharon Bumgardner Aaron planted the petunias that are here earlier in the spring, and they're beautiful. They look really well. We have the lawn gets mowed by Smitty's Lawn Care, one of our members of our congregation, who's Chad. He takes care of the mowing. And a couple years ago, if Jim scans over here to these trees that are beside the parsonage, we just had them trimmed 2 or 3 years ago, and as you can see, the branches are now finally off the church parsonage. We had a lot of trouble with the branches being too big, and we had the trees trimmed, and they really look a lot better, and it keeps things cleaner. Now we're at the parsonage where Charlie and Paula lives, and there's a few things on work day that we want to take care of to help them out. We're putting a bathroom downstairs so that they don't have to go upstairs to use the bathroom anymore, or if people come to visit, it's more convenient for them, and it's not a huge task that we're tackling. And also, Paula would like a garbage disposal in the sink. We're going to do that on work day, and there's just a couple little maintenance things that needs done around here that we're going to take care of on work day. All right, the property commission in the past has talked about putting a new sign in front of the church so that when people drive by, they can see what Franklintown and what's going on in the town of Franklintown and in the church here. And the sign would be perpendicular, and it would be over in the other flower bed, so that when people drive by, that you would be able to read the sign and know what's going on at Franklintown United Brethren Church. All right, one of the things that we need to take care of on the sanctuary on the back side here is, if you look up here, the windows, the stained glass windows have wooden trim. It's very pretty, but it involves painting. And the very first year that I was at property commission here, one of the first things that we did was that we repainted these windows and scraped them and took care of them. But it's been quite a while now. It's probably been 10 years, and the weather's starting to take care, and the sun really beats this side of the church hard, and the windows are due for some paint here within a year or two. And here the church has a rental property, which is Margie lives in, and they had bought this house years and years ago, and the house used to be real bad, so we decided that we would tear the house down because it wasn't fit to live in, and we got her a trailer, and we placed a trailer here for Margie to live in. And we're basically in charge of making sure everything's good for Margie, and she's nice to have around, because she's like a watchdog that we don't even have to feed. All right, and within the last 2 years, we've tackled the project of getting rid of our storage units in town, and now we have our own shed here behind the church, pretty hid and fits in here nicely. But we poured a concrete pad to sit the shed on, and we hooked the sidewalk up to the back side of the church so that we could get in and out without walking through the mud. And as if you can see, right now Jim's looking inside the shed. There's a lot of stuff in there, and we need to organize it on work day. We're going to have a couple people here to take care of the stuff to reorganize the shed. And if Jim walks over a little further, we finally took the oil tank out from the basement, and the oil tank now is outside, so we don't have to smell the diesel fuel in the basement anymore. And Eldon, Ray Kunkel, and Ryan Marsh took care of putting that in there. And then you can see our new underground service for our electricity is now on the back side of the church with no wires overhead. And you scan up our new pipe with the scuppers. We put new pipes on the downspouts that are bigger than the ones before, so that the water can get out of there better. Now we're in the kitchen at Franklintown Church, where we have our pancake breakfasts, the spaghetti dinners. We have numerous little birthday parties, wedding parties, stuff for funerals and stuff like that in here. And if you need to use this, the coordinators are Michelle Smith and Marlene Rosenberger, and see Charlie about getting you on the calendar if you'd ever need to use the kitchen for an event. And if anybody ever wonders why these pictures are in the downstairs hallway, Gene Fissler had found this stuff, and it's old. It's what we would call antiques. it's old stuff that he found that we hung up here that we could take care of, that people could see. And if Jim would pan around here to the side, you can see these other two signs over here. And then the sign down there at the end is when we had our 150th year anniversary, and it was too pretty of a sign to put in storage, so we figured we'd just hang it up on the wall. Okay, now we're in the nursery of the church, and I've talked about these heating vents for a couple years where we need to replace these things because they're getting to become a hazard for the children. And if you look, we have them screwed together just to try to make it work. We've got duct tape on them, trying to hold them together. And we're going to go downstairs in a little while. I'm going to show you what they would look like once we would convert them over to the new ducts that are downstairs. And then if we were up on the roof a little while ago talking about the scuppers and how they get clogged. And if you can see in the nursery right now, the ceiling tiles have leaked again because the scuppers were dirty. And it's just one of them little things that if you made a phone call, you could call somebody and make sure somebody's here, and you could get up on the ladder just to check them randomly throughout the summer and the winter to make sure they're not clogged. And also, we'd like to get pagers someday, like you go out to a restaurant where you're sitting and waiting in line for your meal, that you push the button and it alerts the person that has the pager, and that if your child is back here and the people that are in the nursery would need you, they would just push that pager, and then you wouldn't have to worry about your child as much unless it was a necessity. So it's something that we're looking into. We don't have them yet, but we really want to try to make it easier for the parents that are sitting in the congregation. In the last couple of years, we had a paper that was handed out of things that you would like to see done at Franklintown. And one of the things was air conditioning. Well, to put ductwork in this church would be a huge bill. And we tried these window units, and we turn them on Saturdays. If Charlie's not here, we find somebody to turn them on. But usually Charlie comes over, turns them on Saturday evening. And then it's not cold in here, but it's a lot more comfortable than it used to be. But these window units are working pretty good, and I think we're going to stick with them for now. Now we're in the sanctuary at Franklintown Church. And over the last, I guess it was last summer, we had the sanctuary painted. Jim Perry had a guy that was his painter that does his rental properties come in here, and he gave us a very good price on painting the sanctuary, and it looks a whole lot better than it did before. And then if you look up to the mural, the painting restoration, that's the picture that we want to get done. The picture is valuable. It's a very valuable painting, and a couple of the people in the yacht club really had their hearts set on getting this painting restored, and they're really taking care of it, and I'm glad that they're taking care of it. And all I got to do is go to Gene Pfister to see what's going on, and I'm really glad that other people help do things around here, and there's a lot of stuff that can be done, and many people can help. And like our stained glass windows in the sanctuary, if you only really know how much this stuff would cost to have these windows put in here today, the value is not even really talkable. They're worth so much money. And over the past couple of years, we had the bottoms of them redone, and it was just for them little windows right there. It was $500 a window to have that stained glass reset. And a lot of people donated money, and if you would look on the bottoms of the windows, the people that donated the money are in memory of the person that's on the bottom of that window. Okay, now we've left the nursery upstairs where the heating vents need to be replaced. And if you look down here, this is the all-purpose room downstairs, and these here vents are already replaced, and this is the kind of product that we want to go to that would keep the kids out of harm's way. And the heat, it's just a better thing that we need to do someday in the future. And right now I'd just like to talk that the Property Commission really would want to thank the congregation for the things that they have gave us money for over the past 10 years. If you look down here, we have 2 new Sunday school rooms. The room right here this was all redone. We had it bid out, and there's 2 bathrooms out in the foyer, the handicap ramp for the handicap accessible in the front of the church, and all that. We were going to go to the bank to get the money to borrow for this project, but the congregation stepped up and gave donations and congregational loans that we didn't even have to go to the bank to borrow the money. And it's greatly appreciated, and it took around 8 years of giving from this church again to pay off the congregational loans, and it was And the loan for this was $150,000. And then after this project was paid for, you guys also financed through donations of giving with the parking lot. And the parking lot cost around $20,000 too.